Hey, Dragon Slayers. So this the morning I was 2:45. I'll do my weigh-in again next Sunday. Right now I'm about 24 hours into my fast. My blood sugar is 69. So I'm going to try, instead of fasting Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I'm going to try fasting Monday, Wednesday, Friday instead. And instead of 42 hours, I'm going to try to do three 36-hour fasts. That's what I'm experimenting with now to see how my body reacts. And let's see if I can get down into the 230s or lower consistently. So today's topic is all about the root cause of insulin's resistant being the root cause of dementia, as well as Alzheimer's and any sort of cognitive decline. So there's been a lot of new research lately that talks about how too much insulin can throw off the balance of the chemicals in your brain. These affect the brain. The effects on the brain are so strong that some scientists feel that Alzheimer's related to insulin resistance should be called type 3 diabetes. Type 3 diabetes occurs when neurons in the brain become unable to respond to insulin, which is essential for the basic tasks including memory and learning. Some researchers believe that insulin deficiency is central to cognitive decline of Alzheimer's disease. So, when your cells don't use insulin the way that they should, that affects the mechanics of your brain. Your cells don't get the fuel they need, so your brain can't work right. Your blood sugar goes up over time, and that causes harmful fatty deposits in your blood vessels. With diabetes, you're at a greater risk for heart attack or stroke, and high blood sugar levels can trigger inflammation. No, none of that is good for your blood vessels. Damaged vessels in your brain could lead to Alzheimer's. Inflammation can also make your cells insulin resistant, especially if you're obese. High blood sugar has been linked to higher levels of protein pieces called beta amyloids. When these clump together, they get stuck between the nerve cells in your brain and they block signals. Nerve cells that can't talk to each other is a main trait of Alzheimer's. Your cells are constantly moving food and other supplies along pathways like railroad tracks. A protein called tau helps these tracks that run into and out of and through cells that stay straight in rows. But in a brain with Alzheimer's, tau gets tangled up. The tracks fall apart, the cells die because they can't move stuff to where they need it. Some studies suggest that people with diabetes have more tangled tau in their brains. That could mean that they have more dying cells in their brains, which can lead to dementia. It is really crazy. I had no idea until maybe like a few years ago when I began looking at some of the research. In the description below, I've put some links for you guys to check it out for yourself. Please, like, go Google search it. It's well documented. There's tons of articles, there's tons of research papers and like clinical trials that have been done showing the extremely strong connection between general mental decline, all forms of dementia. Alzheimer's is one of those forms of dementia. Diseases like Parkinson's, any sort of multiple sclerosis, neurological diseases. Now, this doesn't mean that all of them are caused by it, but there's a very strong correlation, and that oftentimes it is caused by some form of insulin resistance. As we age, we tend to get more insulin resistant over time, right? Due to the normal breakdown and degradation of our body's functions, we just naturally become more and more insulin resistant. That's a large portion of why a lot of elderly people gain weight, even if they don't significantly change their diets, is because you just get more insulin resistant over time. So the older you get, the more important it is to keep monitoring your blood sugars and your insulin levels and just lowering the carbs, right? So I thought that this was fascinating. I really wanted to share it with you guys so that if you know anyone out there who's suffering mental decline, any elderly people suffering Alzheimer's or any sort of neurological diseases, suggest that they start a low carb, ketogenic, or a zero carb carnivore esque diet and see if it makes any difference. One other fact that I found interesting is that they make an insulin nasal spray now to help treat Alzheimer's and dementia, further proving the connection between insulin resistance and those diseases. Well, that's what I've got for you guys today. Remember, that together you and I will slay the dreaded diabetes dragon, as well as all other mentally declining issues.